Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm back, and I just want to talk about the Warriors and Nuggets game and what happened and how I feel about this moving forward. So, first of all, the score was 116-102. Golden State obviously won. They're 2 games above them for the 1 seed, and it was at home for Golden State, so it was a pretty tall task for the Denver Nuggets because, in my opinion, I think if they won this game, they would be a lot more confident moving forward, and not being able to beat Golden State at their home floor could be a confidence issue, especially moving into the playoffs. Nikola Jokic on this game didn't exactly play his best. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, but 4 of 10 from the field and 0 of 3 from three-point line. But see, DeMarcus Cousins dropped 28 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 12 of 17 from the field, and 2 of 4 from 3. And that's pretty significant. Now, this year, obviously, Nikola Jokic has been better. No one's going to deny that. But when it's time for your team to step up in the playoffs and stuff like that, you can't be having games like this. Now, I'm not going to even put this whole thing on Nikola Jokic because basically, the whole team really didn't play very well. Like Paul Millsap, 4 for 12, 11 points, 8 boards though, and he played some solid defense. I'll give him that. Will Barton, 5 of 12, 0 of 2 from 3. Gary Harris, just absolutely terrible. 1 of 9 from the field, 6 points, 0 of 2 from 3. Jamal Murray didn't have that bad of a game. He only shot 1 for 5 from 3 though, and you already know he's not really that great on defense, so he's not going to bring you much. And so yeah, their bench didn't do the worst. They actually didn't do very well. It's Isaiah Thomas, 2 for 8 from the field. Malik Beasley only had 3 shots, 1 of 3. So it's just interesting to see this because obviously everyone knows Golden State is the heavy favorites, and it's going to be a good series between these two, in my opinion. But if I were to be completely honest, I'm obviously going to go with Golden State. Now, I'm not even going to say particularly because they've won, obviously, 3 of the last 4 championships. They're veterans. They know what they're doing. But can you trust Denver come playoff time? And I'm not even saying that against Oklahoma City. Or not Oklahoma City. Golden State. I'm saying that against second-round teams, possibly the first-round teams. Because you have to remember, what separates OKC, because they're still the 8th seed, I think, as of right now. I have to go check on that. But whatever separates the 8th seed from the 1 or 2 seed is not very far off. It's like a 6 to 7 game difference, I'm pretty sure. And that's not very big compared to the East because it's so top-heavy where you got the Raptors, you got the Bucks, and stuff like that. And then from the bottom, it's there's a drop-off there, like a significant one. But in the West, it's very competitive. And I'm going to be very interested because I think the 2 main factors for the Denver Nuggets is going to be Jamal Murray and Gary Harris. And I'm going to be completely honest, I don't think I can trust those 2 come playoff time. They haven't proven anything. Now, this might just be because they've never been in the playoffs, and this is like their first, second time, stuff like that, so they're not very experienced with it. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how these 2 guys will do. It'll also be kind of interesting to see how Nikola Jokic does. Being their best player and probably leader, I hope that he can show up. But at the same time, he also doesn't have a lot of playoff experience, and that could drastically hurt the team. But the team has some veterans. Miles Plumlee, Isaiah Thomas, Paul Millsap. They have people, or veterans I should say, that can play basketball. There's good pieces to have around your young players. I just hope the young players are able to, perform when their time is called. Because when it's playoffs time, it gets harder. You can't be shooting like this. Gary Harris can't be going 1 for 9. Okay, Nikola Jokic can't be going 4 for 10 and only have 10 points. They're gonna need more production from that. But at the same time, you can also kind of look at it at the perspective of, okay, the Nuggets didn't have their best game. And yes, they did lose by 14. But at the same time, they did outscore Golden State in the 4th quarter, which I do think could be a good thing. Assuming Golden State, not that they're going to choke or anything, don't get me wrong, but just to kind of look back at it because it seems like they can score on these guys. But I want to just take a look at the fact that these guys can play with them. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well. I mean, they shot 37% from the field to Golden State's 54%, and 14. Yes, it's not exactly a blowout, but it's a pretty significant win. But playing at Golden State is extremely difficult, and if they can just grab one game at Golden State, a win at home, I mean, they can do some damage. Like, I really do believe if Jamal Murray and Gary Harris show up, these guys can take them to 7 games. And it'll be very interesting to see how the series goes if they play each other in the playoffs. And then next for the Nuggets, it'll be also kind of interesting to see how much of they use their bench. Because when I think of the Nuggets, they remind me of the Raptors of last year in the sense that they have a lot of core bench players. And when it comes playoff time, yeah, those bench players are good, but you want to roll with your best lineup come playoff time, and you're not going to really look to your bench as often, or at least for depth, because you're going to be playing your starters a significant amount of minutes, at least more than what you do in the regular season. So it'll be kind of interesting to see who gets those minutes, because off the bench, they have a couple guards. They have a lot of guards stacked on the bench. You have Malik Beasley. You have Monte Morris, Isaiah Thomas, Torrey Craig to a degree. So yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see how they're able to balance all these minutes with the 2 starters and then those core bench players. Alright, that's really it, guys. I honestly do think Golden State's going to probably end up winning the whole thing, but it'll just be interesting to see these young guys play in the playoffs as of now, because these guys are going to be deadly. Like, don't sleep on them now. Like, I remember I was the one. Me and my friend were the only ones who called Denver making the playoffs this year. We said, I think it was not the next year or so that they would make the playoffs. Now, I did not expect this level of productivity and Nikola Jokic to be like a MVP type caliber player, but I believe in this team. Now, it'll just be interesting to see when the Warriors' reign is, like, I guess, over, and it's, I guess, time for a new team to take over. Will Denver be that team in the West? Because they have the pieces to do it. So, yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see. I'll see y'all next time.